Yes. Y'all supposed to fall back.
Okay.
And I am Miss. I am Miss Divine.
Dum dum dum.
Run! Right.
Hi, I'm Deborah G, and I'm here with my family. Hey, loving every moment of it. Join us.
You had that seduction. I know. Look, you got no
get into it.
Sisters with me.
Including Haneef.
And who else?
I am Rasheed Haneef, and I am new to the family. I have no drop music yet, but I'm starting with a program that we're going to talk about called Your Next Phase with Rasheed Haneef.
Your next phase?
Your next phase.
Your next phase.
I thought you were talking about your next fade. Like
No, that was years ago when I had hair. I had a
You're
next
not
phase,
right.
but
Your
now it's
next
just a
phase
phase now.
And what is the next
They have the
phase?
same hairstyle.
Well, next phase could be a business that's a startup looking to take it to another direction. It's going to lift it. It could be a business that's been in business for a while that's become stagnant, or an individual that has been in business. And some individuals are in business, but they're good in a lot of areas. They wear a lot of hats, but one hat they're not really good in is sales. So I help them with their sales development. So we're going to talk about things like that to help them move their business to your next phase.
How long have you been in business, sir?
My business, I started a year ago, actually.
Okay.
So,
You're fairly new.
fairly new in business, but I worked for organizations as a sales developer for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice. And how can people get in contact with you?
you can get in contact with me at 704-705-8513. Email me at rhaneef, Haneef as in Frank, at tutordoctor.com or r1haneef, Haneef at gmail.com. Either way, you'll get in touch with me.
Yes.
All right
Nice.
Interesting.
Doctor, the
How do
tutor,
people
doctor.
sell?
Oh, yes.
That's an interesting question.
It
One of the
depends
things-
on what you're selling.
It does depend on what you're
Hey.
selling.
Some of
I
them
want to be
stand
good
out.
at anything I sell.
Well, normally it starts about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, somewhere with a red light
Big
bulb.
Daddy.
With a
My
disco
name
ball?
is Irma. Irma Jean.
Oh.
Irma Jean.
Irma Jean.
Irma Jean.
That sounds like a $2 lap dance about to go down.
It puts me in the mind of, y'all remember coming to America when they were in the bar and they were meeting the different girls. She's like, I need a man that can satisfy me. Remember that? And then the one chick, she was like, she said, hold on. I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
Yes. That one I do remember.
Yeah. But the one that was bigger, she's like, what did she say? What was the line? Gosh, she said she was throwing the drinks back. She was like, see, that's my problem. I can't find a man that can satisfy me.
And that one that says, I'm going to do you.
She said,
friend.
yeah, he said, I hope you don't mind me coming over. That was Arsenio Hall. He said, but I've been watching you all night, and I want to tear you apart, and your friend too. And Arsenio just spit his stuff out.
Which are all forms of selling yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because the first thing that you learn to sell in life is you.
your personality, you. Who you are.
So how does one sell?
Well, interesting that you say that because, when people are in sales, they try to look for ways to become someone else.
Absolutely.
And like you're saying, the best thing that you can do in sales is be yourself. Because people will buy you. They'll buy you because they trust you, they believe in you, and they like you, and they want to do business with you. And somehow we try to develop ourselves to be somebody else, and then that becomes across phony, and I don't even know if I want to do business with you because you're not being yourself.
But some people are not friendly. The Bible says when friends, you have to show yourself first to be friendly.
That's true.
So if you're not likable, then you do have to put on that likability hat and fake the funk so that you can be liked, because people have to know that you exist. They have to like you, and they have to trust you. So no like and trust. And sometimes people are just ornery and just cantankerous and just downright evil. And those people typically don't do well in sales.
Very well.
So you have to put on a friendly face.
Absolutely.
And didn't I hear you say before you have to be all thing? What is it?
Be all things to all people, such that you might win some.
Yeah, there you go. Father God.
Yep.
Won't he do it?
Well, I thought that was his saying, but I'm kind of
No.
think, no.
I'm deep.
Said that too. Yeah, right.
They think alike, right?
Yeah.
But in sales, you have to be able to mirror the person that you're sitting across the table from.
Absolutely.
Their mannerisms, their looks, their
Identify with 'em.
methodologies. If you're meeting with somebody who is a hippity hopper of the rap generation,
Speaking from personal experience.
you have to be able to speak their language.
Absolutely.
You may have to slouch a little bit in your chair and light up.
Here you go, bro. There you go.
Before we get into this
You know what I'm saying?
There's a point.
Don't do that to me, because I ain't giving you my money. 'Cause I already-
They're all limitations.
And you know what? The other thing is, and so I talk to a lot of clients that I have, and sometimes you have to be able to be strong enough to walk away from a sale for a lot of reasons.
Right.
And it may be an ideology thing. It may be me and you. I don't think business will work well together.
Because of what? Chemistry?
Maybe not chemistry, but so much. There's individuals that I've walked away from business that I knew that if I did business with them, I'm going to have some headaches. You know?
Done that.
Because they're high maintenance.
They're high
Done that.
maintenance.
Yes.
So I'm
Attitude.
spending so much time in servicing
Babysitting
them,
you.
babysitting that isn't worth
not
my
worth
time,
the time anymore.
and the amount of revenue that I'm
Right.
driving from it, and it may not
Right.
be.
It just don't make
It
sense.
doesn't make sense.
I have turned down assignments and offers because of that.
Absolutely.
The people. And I'm like, you know what? You're not going to make me
Worth
put a
it.
gun to my head today. Like, literally.
I've had to fire a client before.
Really?
And it was.
I like how you said that. Fire a client.
I had to fire a client before. I understood that her need, it was in a fitness environment. Everybody comes in complaining. I'm a boot camp trainer. Like, if you don't complain, I haven't done my job. However, she brought her personal life and other things like that, which there's a time for sharing. But when it got to the point to where clients were asking, Colin, is she coming today? Because they were not going to come. Like, literally, they would ask me, after, like, can you talk to her? Can you whatever? I would try to help. She'd do the opposite, and so on and so forth. And the first thing that I did wrong was I kind of disregarded her, because I already knew her personality, and I would try to corral everyone else. That was unprofessional of me because I allowed her attitude and demeanor to infect, everybody else's. And she came to me one day, and she was it was one of her snappy, gripey, complaining, I'm all that and whatever. And I was like, I'm so glad you said that. I don't think that this is a place for you anymore. Like, I needed her to give me a reason to say, here's a better option.
Right.
There's 100 gyms. Go find one, because 99 of them was what you got left, because this one is not it. And I did it in a way where I hope she understood why she wasn't welcomed. I was not discouraging her from having relationships with others there. I didn't bring anybody else into it. But once it was done, it was so funny because I fired her and she came back the very next day.
Wait.
She literally
What?
blessed me out because you don't pay attention to me, and I done this and this and that and so and so. When I give her attention, then I'm nitpicking. When I don't give her attention, then I'm ignoring her, whatever. So she blessed me out, and she agreed, you know what, I can find another gym, and I think that's probably the best, decision for all of us. But she literally came back to the next class the next day, and I welcomed her and greeted her, and we end up stretching.
After you had
at the end.
already told her?
Let me tell you how I fixed it. Literally, we did all of that, and at the end, we do our stretches. So I had everybody come into a circle, and like, oh God, because they're thinking something else is crazy about to happen. Everybody's stretching, and I was like, hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that Miss, this is her last day. She was like, I literally was like, she
That
was
was
informed into me.
That's
She's
a good
informed me that she's not necessarily pleased. I want to apologize, and I made it seem like it was me that fell short. I apologize that you were uncomfortable while you were here because of how I treated you.
Wow.
And I apologize that I allowed you all to experience the discomfort between her and I. And so literally there was no coming back. Because everybody was like, all right, bye. We wish you well. So everybody was on board and it was open because you're not going to snap on me and then we not do it. You come back, I didn't mention the day before, not one time. Didn't say a word.
It was a good tactic.
Whole 45 minutes. Minute 47. So, guys, today, it's her last day.
Yesterday, I had an experience with a woman, and we're talking, and I'm an encourager. And I'm always looking at the cup, half full versus half empty. And she was so negative about everything, about life, about her own situation, that it got to the point where it started, and it was me, her, and there were 2 other people in the room at the same time. Everybody was getting drained by her negative energy. So much so that I literally had to dismiss her. But before I dismissed her, I had to preach on her.
What do you mean?
I had to Bible thump her.
What do you mean? Tell us what happened.
I had to let her know that the words that are coming out of her mouth are not enriching and are not of God. And that everything that has transpired up until this point, you have found something negative to draw from it.
You said this in front of the other people?
In front of the other people.
Wow.
Looking at her in her eyes. And your attitude needs a renewing of the mind. And if you do not get a renewing of the mind, you will fail at everything you touch and everything that you do, and people won't want to be around you.
You said it as passionate as you're saying it now?
Absolutely.
He cannot,
Absolutely.
He can't even tell a story without that level of
it's
passion.
like there's something wrong with you. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I encourage you to come back. However, for here now, this moment, this is not the right time for you, because your energy is such that
It's
you
life
can't
draining.
see the forest for the trees. And until you can see yourself in a better situation, not only are you going to be stagnated, but then you're going to have a negative impact on everybody around you.
Wow.
I believe that.
See,
too.
that's
Did
the
she believe
boldness
it?
of the Holy
She took it
Spirit
in?
right there.
She left quietly?
Absolutely. She had to. She sat there, she sat up, and she couldn't say nothing.
You know what?
Because
when
I
you-
went in on her.
When you speak the word
It
like
is what it
that,
is.
So proud of him.
I'm sorry, but the negative spirit has to go.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, it has to go.
Yeah.
Right.
That
It was
negative
just-
spirit.
You called it out, huh, Business?
You called
Pretty
it, but he
much.
called it out with the word. He
Right.
used
You
the
used that
word.
sword, didn't you?
That's
Absolutely.
the difference,
Absolutely.
you know, constructive criticism, you know, or
That was good. Now, so that's the boldness of the spirit when you can call somebody out, but your backup is the word.
That's right. So if you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at him. Don't get mad
Get
at me.
mad at him. I'm
That's
just,
right.
He
I'm the
told me to
messenger.
speak it, use it, teach it, and that's what I'm doing.
Have you
So-
had any personal incidences where you had to fire a client? I love that. Fire a client, sir.
Well,
Where you already existing client and you had to.
relinquish them.
Well,
Yeah, thank
I'll
you.
tell you,
Release them.
I started out as a financial advisor many years ago. So I was a financial advisor in well, I'm not going to say how long ago it was, but it was a while ago.
I was one also. I was one for Charles Schwab.
I started out with Morgan Stanley.
Okay.
So one of the things in building businesses at a lot of organizations, they will start
My
you building
allowance.
business with smaller accounts.
Yes, sir.
And to be honest, most financial advisors, they build a business with larger accounts. So as you're gaining more experience, your clients
You're trusted.
are higher level. Well, I shouldn't say level, but their account value is a lot higher,
It's
which
the parable
leaves
of
you
talents.
a lot less time to deal with clients that don't, I don't want to say that. You trying to make me go there, but
Keep it real. Keep it real.
But,
Broke folk. No.
so to be real, you have to, and I don't want to say fire, you have to get rid of a lot of those clients, because first of all, you're not going to be able to pay them the attention that they deserve. I kind of feel it's malpractice because they're not getting any help from you, and they could be somewhere else, because a lot of organizations will have like a call center or something like that that can help manage those clients. So I authored a book years ago. It's called Are You a Salesperson or a Business Owner? And one of the things that we talk about in that book is if you're starting a business, I'm not one that believes you should start there, because eventually you're not going to be there.
Start where is there?
As smaller investment in clients, you should start where you actually want to move your business. So if you want to move your business to clients that are net worth or a value of $250,000 per client, that's where you should start. And not start with clients that are $10,000 because eventually.
But how do you get there if you haven't been found faithful over the little? Because even with the parable of talents, everybody was given their 1, their 2, their 5, but it was the one that had the 5 that brought back 100-fold return. They doubled it back. That was now given the balance of the 1 and the 2. So you have to start someplace, and you have to grow, establish the credibility, the reputation, the referrals to be able to land that $250,000 account.
Well, one of the things that happens with many instances, and you make a real great point, but sometimes you get very good at managing or being able to get that $5,000, $10,000 to commit. That doesn't really help you work with $1 million client because those situations are totally different. There's a lot more strategy. There's a lot more intricacies in dealing with $1 million client than there is with a $10,000 client. So I get good at that, but it's not really great practice in helping me.
And it's not a strong
But you need to practice.
You do need to
on the $10,000 one before the $1 million one, because then you mess up their money.
Absolutely.
You ain't getting that another client.
And so what I would say is the first thing is really you need to get down a very good process. You need to have a process. So the first thing is to get a process that you define and that you're able to repeat. And that means you need to be practicing and rehearsing that.
You got it.
If they work with me, I'm getting them a process that they define and repeat, and then they're going to practice and rehearse that. So when we go out and work with, and maybe they even go out and watch somebody and observe somebody that's actually doing that.
Absolutely.
And then and then go after. They used to say elephant hunting, and then go after that elephant. But you got to be prepared to do that.
That makes me
When we
think.
come back from break, we'll talk more about that. Family, don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media.
The voice of the community. We were getting in good about that elephant hunt. All right now.
You got some good questions now.
Yeah.
He been there, I know. But I my big thing is that